Hey YouTubers and gamers, Annie's back, and it's another pickup video. I know I said I'd be doing an N64 collection video, but I had so many pickups I got to make room for, so that's sort of taking priority, I'm afraid. And if I can get, soon I can put this stuff on the shelves and so forth, it gives me more space to have a sort out and do the N64 video. So it is coming, guys, it is coming. It's New Year, so Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you're all doing okay. We still need to take the decorations down. We'll do that tomorrow. But just been so busy the past week, to be perfectly honest. And we all come down with colds and everything we all have in the household. So I may sound a bit snotty today, and that's part of the reasons. Been fighting the cold that my wife had, and which she kindly gave to my daughter and I. So no further delay, let's get on to pickups. As always, we start off with the vinyl for day, and I got here the final picture disc to Top Gun Maverick. My daughter's just walking by. This is a white picture. When I say picture disc, it's a white coloured vinyl. Quite a good soundtrack. It's got sort of the main tunes from the original Top Gun, and you know, obviously it is a awesome movie. You know, the fact that they filmed so much with in live footage. You know, with real planes, with real stunts, real decent footage, and not rely on CGI like they too often these days. It is such a amazing effects, but it's such an exciting, great film. So you've not seen Top Gun Maverick, do go out your way and watch it. But I do recommend watching the first one again first, because it will make the second one, the experience so much better, because there's lots of nods to a first film in the second, obviously. But it's an awesome movie, and yeah, quite pleased to have a soundtrack. Let's get the non-gaming goods out of the way. Paladone, I've been doing this Sega Mega Drive Lite. They had it in game as when I first saw it, and it was about 30 quid, so I thought that's a bit pricey. But in Amazon, eventually reduced it down to 22, so I got it off there. And what's good about this, it actually says chrome effect. So even though with the light on, it looks like it's white Mega Drive, it's actually chrome. So when the batteries aren't on, it's really, really good. So that's quite nice. I want to have on my Mega Drive shelf. Still non-gaming bits. VHS, just one. Got this for about with postage about 8 quid. So about about 6 with another £2 postage. The first Die Hard classic Christmas movie, and it's widescreen edition. So yeah, quite pleased to have that. I don't think I'll bother getting the other Die Hard movies, even though they're good. I think I just really wanted the first one on VHS. That's the most important. Some books. Fighting Fantasy, Choose Your Own Adventures. They were all quite popular when I was a kid. Excuse that scratching, that's the cats. I'll just let him out. Come on in. Rhianna Pratchett, the late Terry Pratchett's daughter, did one about, I think it was either last year or year before, so I've been wanting to get this for a while. It's been on my list. It's only a £5, brand new book. I thought I'd get that. Talking of Choose Your Own Adventure and Fighting Fantasy, some tubers have been talking about this book, and it was recommended. And I'm more than pleased to pick this up myself, really. So it is Ian Livingstone with Steve Jackson's Dice Men. A highly recommended book. I managed to get this for retail from Amazon for about 22 quid, which is a good price for this book. It's a big, chunky book. It's it goes into history development of not only of Warhammer and White Dwarf magazine and D&D in the UK, but how it got about with these two D&D enthusiasts who wanted to bring the craze from America to UK and develop their own shops and then their own merchandises and books and all sorts, really. So yeah, I will have a read of that sometime, because I'm a massive fan of fighting fantasy and that little era, and the sit-down miniatures and stuff. I really liked those when I was growing up. That's did my brother and a lot of people. Right, while we're on books, again on the retro area, I just wanted to go back to my childhood and get some Hergé's Adventures of Tintin and Asterix books. So I've got this Asterix omnibus, which was quite cheap, about £8 for Amazon, produced from 15, and that's got the Asterix and the Gaul, Asterix and the Golden Sickle, and Asterix and the Goth, so 3 of the classic adventures. I just wanted to get the first omnibus just to give me a little buzz, a little taste of the books that I used to read when I was a kid. And again with Tintin, I just got the 3 books that I remember as a kid. So obviously it was The Secret of a Unicorn, Red Ratman's Treasure, and The 7 Crystal Balls. Again, these are really cheap. I think these are about £3 or £4 each, brand new. So it's it's so much cheaper than trying to buy quality used copies, really. Obviously, the books that I had as a kid or as a family, they've God knows what happened to them, but they're no longer to be found. They would have been valuable anyway, because I don't know whether they would have been first editions. I think this came out, was it 50s or 60s? It's really old stuff. And it would have been French or Belgian or whatever it was. But anyway, sorry, my nose is starting to run a little bit. Okay, what else have I got? Bill, Betty Horde Clinic talked about the hacking your PS2 and using the MacBoot and everything, and so I got my MacBoot disc and I got a fat PS2. I made a mistake of going for a SSD card that was 2 TB and not 1 TB. The MacBoot software doesn't work very well with a 2 TB SSD card, so it's very frustrating. I was trying to install a PS2 game, and it had problems doing it and it wouldn't work. So I ended up using that hard drive as an external storage device, and I found on eBay actually some other sellers saying a fully installed hard drive already with MacBoot on the disc. I think it was about, I can't remember what size hard drive it was. It's quite large. I think it's 1 or 2 TB. I think no, it's probably about 1 TB, but it had about 350 PS2 games on it, including the rarer ones, or the ones you want to have on the hard drive, like Rule of Rose and Ibarra, and all the horror classics and stuff like that. So, and that's all already on there, and it's all installed, and it's all done nice. It saves me having to fart around and burn my own discs and everything else, really. So, and that was so cheap. That was about £45, including shipping from eBay. Even though it's not like an SSD drive, it was like that. Typical hard drive. Sorry. Even though it's that, I'll probably need to go and get some water. Just a moment, guys. Yeah, sorry about that. It's just causing me to cough, and I don't want to be having a coughing fit just because I just need a bit of water. Anyway, I digress a little bit. Yeah, so it was much easier to buy a standard hard drive with everything already installed, and it was like I said, it's for £45. So I had the Cradle and the Specialist hard drive adapter, Ethernet adapter type thing that you have for PS2, which is like not the original Ethernet adapter. It has to be a more modern one. It's works with the modern hard drives. And then they're quite cheap, about £20 off eBay. So I already had that anyway because I bought it for my MacBoot and the SSD drive. So I got a MacBoot cart here, which was about a tenner, which I'm not going to use now because I said it's all installed in the hard drive. So you live and learn. So if you do go down that route, guys, and use an SSD drive, At the moment, just stick to 1 TB and don't go for a 2 TB, even though you'd like to have a more memory. The software support is a bit ropey. Alright, okay. DVDs. I know Sega's got Zombie. Shown us, talked about this before in the videos, and a lot of us remember as kids. There was a USC box set of DVDs. I got this from CX, mail order. That was the cheapest place to get it. I think it was about 30 quid. Not as cheap as I would like to be, but it's out of print and it's getting more expensive, so I'm just getting it while I can. And it's nice to have those cassette TV series from when we were kids. Other gaming accessories. I've got a D-pad controller, one with adapters by Hori. It's like a Pokemon one for a Switch. It's nice to have a proper real D-pad. That was a lot of money. That was about 20, I think. This was reduced to 15 quid. I just bought another one. It's a Sega Saturn Bluetooth controller. I think it was 15 quid, or maybe even cheaper than that, maybe under a tenner. I just get it because it was so cheap, you know, while we can, because I won't be around forever. This will lead on to a game which I'll be talking about later, and that is the Teeny Tiny's Wonderlands controller for the Xbox. Got this for retail somewhere online, quite cheap, because I think it was a bit more expensive on that. No, tell you what, I got it from Amazon because it had gone up and it had gone down again. So I got it for about 33, had gone up to about 40, then it went down again, and so I got it for 33. Teeny Tiny, Tiny Tina is a character from the Borderlands games. And a known dedicated spin-off game which is sort of inspired by Dungeons and Dragons mixed with third-person shooting elements. So it's Borderlands crossed with role-playing and D&D and type thing. So I mean, Borderlands is a kind of role-playing game, isn't it? But you know what I mean. It's more D&D focused. So I just thought that would be cool. For Christmas or birthday, one of the two, my wife got me this sort of camouflage PS5 controller. Really like the art style, really cool. No doubt there'll be tons of dedicated hard drive controllers coming out at some point. Again, a non-gaming pop figure. Finally, Stranger Things Eddie. This is must have been reprinted or remoulded or whatever else, because these are more available on the eBay without having to cost a bomb. So I was able to get that for £20 delivered. So I'm quite pleased with that, because that was an expensive figure 6 months ago when all the hype about Stranger Things was about. But it's still cool to have a nice Eddie figure. Okay, I do have a console to show you. A lot of people have picked this up. I've had a few Evercade games already, but I've not had a console. I really wasn't a fan of the old retro white finish on the previous consoles. And there's a Versus console, which is which I might get at some point. But again, I'm not too keen on the art of the colour style. So it's white and red, but they brought out an EXP one, which is a more of upgraded Pro version, which has got a better screen, and it's got quite a few Capcom games installed on it, which is the only way of getting them. For whatever reason, Capcom, the deal with Capcom and Evercade was to only have them installed on the console, which is a bit surprising really, because there are quite a lot of combinations of Capcom games on other systems. So why they had to do it like that, I'm not too sure really. But that's not the main reason why I bought this. I just wanted a decent Evercade to play the games on really. And you can connect this to a telly if you want to via the HDMI out, I believe, yeah. So yeah, I'll probably get a updated version of this one as well at some point in the future. But I think it's really cool to have these. And this comes with the REM games on the cartridge as well, which is really good because that includes some superb games like R-Type and In a Hunt and stuff. So I got that from Funstock, because if you pay an extra £20, you get a few extras, including a soft case, which is really nice for the console. And then obviously that's it. You know, there's loads of videos and stuff on it. It's a nice console. It really is a nice handheld console. I mean, I know there was like a limited edition black one, and it's a bit of, it's a bit of an issue with that, because obviously if you look into it, the European and American supply had been not European. Oh, excuse me. The supply for UK and America was shipment that had been stolen for the black limited edition, not the white ones, the black ones. And so the European ones did get stolen, but the UK and American ones did. Which means people will have to wait a long time if they pre-ordered those special limited editions. You're thinking, that was quite a good steal by somebody stealing, all those consoles. I think they'll be finding it difficult to offload them, because if you think about it, the only way you could sell those is, it's back, it's going to be obvious that they've been stolen, unless you're claiming that you bought a few off, from Europe directly. But again, if you're offloading, trying to offload, hundreds of them, that's going to be a bit difficult to convince people. So I imagine there's a lot of stock of these, of black ones, that people are, the thieves will be worried about trying to offload, because it's going to be so easy to leave the trail back to where they came from, perhaps. So I don't think it was such a smart thing to sell, because it's not like things that are easy to offload that that are common everywhere. When you still rare things, it is difficult to offload, even though you might think that you get more money for it. It's just, I would have thought it's more challenging. But anyway, I digress a little bit, massively. I've got a couple of Evercade games as well. There are a few more I want to get. Some remain, but these are just a couple I got because they were cheap from Amazon. The Jayco Collection 1. I got this because I think what my game was really interested. Earth Defense Force more than anything else from here. And the Astronauts. So I think that's the main reason why I got that one. And the Namco Museum Collection 1 had the second one, but I didn't have a first, so those were really cheap. Okay, sticking with retro for a little bit, this is actually more games. I did my SNES collection, but I've actually, this is still typical, decided there was two other games I wanted to get. One was a Marvel game, which is super expensive. It did get a European release as well as in America and Japan. And it doesn't matter which country you get it from, it's really expensive. Even the cart alone, it's mega bucks. And if you get a box, you're looking at between £250 and £300. So I'm not paying that sort of money. So I've just got a reproduction cart of Marvel superheroes in War of the Gems, which is like, again, it's one of the best Marvel games on the SNES. That and the X-Men Mutant Apocalypse game, there were two to get. So I was quite pleased to have that. So the cartridge was about £8, the case £4, and I printed off my own sleeve using my really decent quality printer. So I say it again, guys, if I were starting off collecting SNES from scratch, I'll just go for cart only and just have it release universal boxes, because when you get a decent case, a great case, if it's all uniform, and I've got more matching, so they're all vertical now. I reprinted some of the sleeves I did, so they're all vertical. They just look so nice on the shelf, they do, all uniform, like that. They just look really nice. So there's no shame having a few repos or cart onlys. Just got to think about how best to present them, and I do recommend getting some matching universal cases and printing off some decent sleeves. I've got like a guillotine so I can cut the paper perfectly. You know, always get straight edges on the paper and everything. And just if you've got a decent printing facilities, you can really do great jobs on those quite cheaply. There was also a top-down vertical shooting game. Not quite bullet hole, but it is, you know, in the riding type of sphere of games it is. And I didn't know it existed really. I just came across on a video about people were talking about some shooters on the SNES, and they had all the usual suspects such as the R-Type games and stuff. Oh, excuse me. And parodies and things, but they had Strike Gunner, Super Strike Gunner, and I thought, ooh, that looked quite good. So I got myself a box copy. Wasn't cheap, with a manual and everything. I think it was about £55–60, you know, all included. I could have got one without a manual for half that money, but it's usually it's typical, and it's the manuals that cost you an arm and leg, isn't it? I don't think they had any box copies available in CX, so I couldn't do a CX roulette course route either. Oh, excuse me, guys. Talk of which, I wanted to get my Michael Jackson Mega Drive game box to complete, and the cheapest place before Christmas was CEX. So I thought there's loads of copies. I ordered 2 copies, both came, and none had the manual, so I've returned both of them. And and the price of that game has gone up on CX. It's about £45 now, obviously with £2 shipping. So I was able to see a complete copy on eBay for £60. So I just thought, for the sake of £12, I'll just save the hassle of trying to keep getting multiple copies from CX on the hope of getting a complete one, because I will buy a few games multiple copies, but at the end of the day it gets a bit tiresome after a while, and there may come to a point that, you know, CX will say, Mr. Burry, you're returning too many games. I don't know, but they may do anyway. Okay, alright, let's go back to games. What else I've got? Okay, oh, excuse me. It's like big. No, I saved that to later, actually. Few Nintendo goodies. There's a few DS games I'm trying to get off my list. I think I've got about another 5 games left to get on the DS, and they're all big hitters. But these ones aren't big hitters, but they're not common games. So, Mystery Case Files Prime Suspects. I do like the Mystery Case Files games. I think it's about 4 or 5, about 3 or 4 of them I think there were on a DS. But I wanted that one, and that's one I've never seen in a while, so I ordered it off, I think it was eBay, all complete, for about £5. This one, Konami's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Nightmare. I think this is also available on, is it 3DS? I can't remember now. And it's available on other consoles. But again, I wanted that on DS and I hadn't seen it, and so I can't remember what I paid for that. I think it may have been about. It wasn't expensive. I think it may have been about between 10 and 15. I don't know. And this one, Kung Fu Panda 2, again, one which I've been wanting to have on my list just to complete it, because I had the first film on the DS. Again. It's just, I know, I just wasn't seeing it in Wild. These 2 other Wii games, apparently these are quite bad, but I had one in this series, so I thought I'll complete them at the other ones, and that's the Kawasaki collection of games on Wii, popcorn games. So I had one, I can't remember what it's called, but there was 2 others I didn't have, so I got snowmobiles, well, not mobiles, and jet ski. They weren't a lot of money. I think they're about $3.50 each off eBay. But I just thought to get them. They're not particularly great games. but a little bit arcadey, but not very good apparently. But I just thought I'd get those to complete that little subset. Okay, got some PS2. Goodness, some imports. Okay, I decided to buy it, but I had this game on an American copy. I mean, not American, a Japanese copy. And it's a collector's edition, so it comes with a DVD. I'm going to keep that, even though the game's Japanese. The American copy doesn't come with that DVD, and I've got the American copy because I've ordered it as well. So this is the one to play, and the other one is just to keep as a collector's piece because it comes with a bonus, DVD, which the American copy does not come with. So yeah, I got that finally. I bit about it. I think it would have been about £35–40, but then by the time I paid shipping and taxes, worked out about £55. So that's the trouble when you import from the States, more so than anywhere. Sometimes you do get hit with the duties. This game got from Japan. I got it on the Saturn Die Hard Arcade. Is it Die Hard Arcade Trilogy or something? I played it last year. It's really good. It is, but in Japan it was called Dynamite Decker, and it's re-released on the PS2 as part of the Sage Ages Volume 26. So I thought I'd just get that for a for a collection. I think it was about £25 or something. Not too expensive. And maybe another £5 or £10 with other fees on. So it wasn't too expensive, that one, which I'm glad to say. Okay, PS3 game. I had this on. I got the limited steelbook edition, but I thought I'll get the standard edition just to be a bit more of a completist. And that's Castlevania Lord of Shadows collector's edition, which includes a Reverie and Resurrection DLC and a demo disc of Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2. This game is. It's getting expensive, even the standard edition. The steelbook, which I already had, is about 50, and the standard edition looking at 30 quid. So that's a game. If you see in a while, guys, on the PS3, guys, pick it up because it's not cheap anymore. If you see it cheap, you can pick it up and flip it. Okay, we'll do a Switch. Okay, some games I got cheap. Got this. I think this was just about £19 or something in the game. It's a Doctor Who 2 games in 1 Switch game. Nothing remarkable. Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I wanted a new copy because I've got the collector. I'm going to show it in another pickup video at some point. I had too much to show today. The collector's box set that was released only online from the Nintendo UK store, and it was a complete fiasco. The launch was of that. First of all, the game came out first, and the limited edition version wasn't ready. So they said, well, if you order it, we'll, you can buy the game separately and buy the hard edition bits separately. But the only thing is, their website is completely utterly shit. So when it was available, no one could log in. Well, very few people apart from the scalpers. Well, obviously the scalpers could get it, but no one else who actually wanted a genuine copy could get one. So I ended up, it should have been about £25, but I ended up having to pay about £60 for the collector's edition bits. Because Nintendo just can't handle big orders for at least. I think it's pretty bad across the world, really. For a big company, you really don't know how to manage websites. But, you know, it's just inexcusable really for a big company like that. Anyway, I moan a bit. I've got some other games which I pre-ordered ages ago from Strictly Limited. So it's a cotton 100% and cotton power armor cotton. I have double dipped on those. I've got those on the PS4, which I'll show you as well. I've pre-ordered those. They're taking forever to come out, haven't they? I think they've been over a year. Finally, I wanted a physical copy of this. So again, I think I've double dipped on this. I think I got a PS4 copy and Switch. And that was Cuphead. Right, this came from Special Reserves Games. I had pre-ordered it over 6 months ago, and that is the Serious Sam collection. I don't know if it's the 360 games or complete HD remaster, I'm not too sure, but still, that's the only way of getting those games on the physical format. Alright, this other game, Champion 2D Rob showed it in one of his videos recently, and it looked really interesting. I guess it's, you know, it's sort of Castlevania inspired with artwork which is very much in tribute to, I think personally me, with some of the Death Smiles games. And your main character has the ability to fly and shoot projectiles, so it's not really a shooter, but it's, you know, it's more of a, you know, proper platforming game. But you know, but it looks pretty cool. So I thought I'll get that. But unfortunately, all the standalone copies from Amazon Japan, which is it's Japanese exclusive, you can only get it in Japan, but it all plays in English. So I couldn't get that, and well, it hadn't sold out. It'd gone up a lot in price. The price was about £5 cheaper than the collector's edition. So I decided to go for a collector's edition. So this was £55 with shipping, free shipping from Japan. And this collector's edition is really nice. It comes with a quality hard case. It comes with a CD soundtrack, the game obviously physical format, an art book, and the plastic display plaque of some sort. Yeah. So for £55, that's pretty good. Yeah, really nice art style on that. So if you like your Castlevania games, do look up this one. This is called Kamajo Remelia Scarlet Symphony. So it's a part of the Scarlet Symphony anime. I don't know if you can see that, guys. But Champion 2D Rob recommended it, and I looked up into it, and I thought, yeah, I think I'll go for that as well, mate. So thanks for that recommendation. Okay. Got a couple of Xbox games, original Xbox. Oh dear, it's always this cold. Get me down. Resident Evil. Massive Resident Evil fan. I tend to get multiple copies of the games across multi-formats because I'm a bit of a completist. And so with Resident Evil 2, not only were there multiple copies on different formats, but some of them were like, then, you know, ventricular sleeves or steel books like this one. So I managed to get a steel book copy of this. I got it off of eBay in the end. I think it was about 22, so not the cheapest way of buying this game, but still, to get the steel books, nice. If you see him and CX, the steel books, they're the same price, but it's just, you know, got no way of guaranteeing or getting the steel book online. It's quite lucky if you see them in stores. Excuse me, I've got to take some water. Okay, also, I finally finished this game, including the DLC. So it's Resident Evil 8 The Village. It has the Memories of Rose DLC, which is really cool. Another 3.5, 4 hours worth of gameplay, I think. It's well worth having. Smiths has reduced the price of the gold edition down to £27, whereas the DLC pack online is about £15 on its own. So it's worth picking up if you want a physical copy. You know, doing it that way. So I got it from Smiths. I got this on multi-formats, and you'll see other copies of this, but I tend to play it on the PS5, I did. But being a completist, yeah. And of course the DLC is a code on it. I've opened this up and made sure I installed it on my Xbox while I could, just in case I do decide to go on the Xbox and play it at some point in the future, because obviously a DLC may not be available forever. Okay, a few PS5 games. Alright. Okay. Again, Resident Evil 5, the gold edition. Got that from Smiths. I got this. Is it the game collection? It's not available everywhere on the PS5. You can get it on the Switch and PS4 easier, for especially from game. But to get the new Tales from Borderlands Deluxe Edition, which has the DLC, or which is Tales from original Tales from Borderlands, as a download code. To get it on physical format, it's not easy. But I think there was a game collection was still selling them, and I managed to get that reduced to about £20. So I was really pleased to have that. It's not an easy game to find on the PS5. This game I will play at some point. Bill Betty Horde Clinic showed some gameplay. It's special. The Gotham Knights. This is a Steelbook special edition on the PS5. I do not pay retail for this. I saw it in CX. It had been reduced from 60 to 45, and 45. Oh, that's nice. But I think that's still a bit much. I gave it a week, and it had gone down to. I think it had gone down to about 25 or 30 or something like that. I thought, yes, I'll get it at that price. So to get the Steelbook edition for, I think it was 25 or 30. Really nice on the PS5. It's really good Steelbook as well. Alright, this game is a game exclusive. The standard edition had been reduced to £25 just before Christmas, and for whatever reason, in one particular game store I went to, by a chain of game, they had mispriced the special edition display boxes as a discounted price. So I thought, oh great, I can get the special edition for £25 one, because normally it's 55. So, or 60, 55 or 60 it is. Well, anyway, so I went up to the counter, went to buy that, and the guy said, "Oh, okay, great." He just picked up the standard edition. No, I said, "It's a special edition. Look at the box." He said, "Oh yeah, okay, mate." So he went and did it, and went it through a till, and it came up with some normal retail price. He said, "Sorry, mate, I can't do it like that. It's not reduced." And I said, "Well," he said, "Normally I can knock a little bit off for you in some cases, it's like a 5 or whatever. But I can't reduce it by as much as, down to £25. So I said to him, well, that's a pain. I'm not going to pay, £55, £60 for it. Will you reduce it by a tenner? And he said, okay, and I can do that. So he reduced it by a tenner at least. So it is Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed Collector's Edition. This comes in a cardboard case that's like the was it a token spirit guide or something? What else does it come with? There's posters, stickers, a display stand, and I thought there's some DLC, a remote trap vehicle kit, and a special PKE meter replica type thing. So yeah, it's quite a nice little collector's set. I've been a fan of Ghostbusters. I don't know if the game's any good or not, but I just thought it'd be nice to have a collector's set for it, because it's not too big as well, which is handy. It's always I do like collector's sets that aren't big, especially if it's for an IP like Ghostbusters, which I really like. Talking of which, there's another PS5 game which I got, whereby the you know, it's tend to be a habit whereby they release collector's editions, and they don't always come with the game. They sell them separately. And this is what happened with Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. So if you get the game on PS5 or PS4, the collector's edition was separate, and I think originally it was about £60 mark. But for whatever reason, the game was getting rid of them all quite cheap. And I think with the game on PS4, which is sold separately. I've got this on PS4 as well. Standard edition. This is like the special next level edition. I think it was about 30 quid. So you get the PS4 copy of the game and you get the box set. It's either 30 or 20. It was ridiculously cheap. It may have been 20. But anyway, so I got this Tiny Tina's Wonderland box set. It's a bit big. Comes with a soft toy plushie. And other collectible crap, tarot cards, a proper D&D style module, enamel companion pins, a little Buttstanians Castle papercraft booklet, and a cloth Wonderlands map. So, you know, I've got original Borderlands collector sets. So to get, you know, that as part of a Borderlands set, I thought, for that price, yeah, why not? So I think I got a brand new sealed PS4 copy of the game, which is just a basic game. But I thought I'll get my PS5 one with the next level edition, quite cheap, used, which I was able to get for about 15 quid actually. So so in the box, I think I've got the PS4 copy that was sealed that came with it in the box. But to keep and play, it's a PS5 copy, if that makes sense. And while we're with PS4, let's take some more drink. Okay, let's make sure the thing's recording. We have got Warhammer 40,000 Shooters Blood and Beef. Sorry, I was getting a bit worried that the camera wasn't recording then. That's a bit of paranoia stepping in. Anyway, back to where I was. Shooters Blood and Beef, or Teeth. This is a Warhammer game that was released exclusively through... who is it? One is... is it Special Reserves Games or something? I can't remember now. Can't see who it came by actually. It's not one you can get in general stores anyway. It includes the soundtrack. So I've got all the Warhammer games, so I thought I'd get that. Got this cheap in CX, Near Replicant. I think it was about £18. I had the other Near games. Got this used 18 quid. The Cowabunga collection. Everyone's got this. Comes with a PS5 upgrade, so I've done that. This was about £4 or £5. It's a football game based on a Japanese anime called Captain Tsubasa, whatever. Rise for New Champions. I think there's quite a few games in Japan, but I think this is the only one that came to Europe. But for £4 I thought I'd give it a go. It's £4 or £6 it was dirt cheap. This has been reduced dirt cheap to £20 mark for Quarry, so it's all sealed on PS4. I was talking about Resident Evil 2, you know, I was always able to get different formats, so on Resident Evil 2 I've got a ventricular sleeve copy. I got that search all that in CX, and I got it for what CX paid. I can't remember what it was now. It was cheap. Right, this again came out just before Christmas on PS4, new and sealed, not opened yet. It is the House of Dead remake. I've got this on the Switch. It's supposed to be coming to Xbox One too, but obviously PS4. Is PS5 upgrade available, and you can play this with PS5 you know, a special gun controller thing that you play on a PSVR unit. So you can actually use that gun, and apparently it's better by playing using that gun than using just the Sony controller. I think you might have to go in the settings and just fiddle with the settings a little bit, but it is playable, and a lot of people have said that. So you can actually use that to pop a PS5, or not PS5, a PS4 VR gun thing. Obviously, there's a PS5 VR coming out soon, isn't there? So if not, you'll be able to do anything on that with this. Who knows? But yeah, that PS4 VR gun, you can actually use that. Okay. Got these dirt cheap Wonder Boy collection. I think it was about £15 mark. And Wonder Boy's Ashen Monster World. A lot of people would say that's not particularly very good, but again, it was about a £15 mark. That's something there. The Last Stand Aftermath, I think that was about £17 mark. This game, I managed, it was reduced in in Amazon or somewhere to £25 from £45. So Evil West, and I think it's also called, is it Wild West or something along those lines in the States, or Weird West. That's it, Weird West it's called in the States, but over here it's called Evil West. So it's like a Wild West mixed with zombie elements and shooting elements and demons and stuff, and vampires and all sorts of things. So looked interesting. PS5 upgradable. Excuse the cat that's moaning. Chicken Place. This is a point and click adventure. Paint it red. It's got characters with based on animals. It's supposed to be quite funny. It was about £12. I got this for Christmas. Sonic Colors Ultimate. Thank you, wife. Okay. That's simple. Got this reduced cheap. I think it's reduced to 15 quid in Smiths. It's for Jungle Book Disney collection. I had it first of all, when it came with just Aladdin and Lion King, but now it comes with a Jungle Book as well. So being completed, had to get that. I had these on the Switch. It's a Cotton game, so Cotton 100% and Cotton Panorama. Oh, excuse me. Resident Evil 8 Gold Edition, as I said before. Cuphead, I did double dip. Champion 2D, well, talked about this game as well. Them's Fighting Herds. It's actually cheap on the Switch, but on the PS4, I tend to prefer PS4 games over Switch normally, unless I double dip. I wanted to get on the PS4, so it was a little bit more money on the PS4. I think on the Switch you can get it for about £13 or £14, whereas on this it was about £17. Eddie Rollicle recommended this. I got it offline, quite cheap. It's a deluxe edition of Yomawari Lost in the Dark. I do have the other games on the, is it Vita? And I think there was another PS4 collection. I think there was on the first couple of games perhaps. So I wanted to get that. Okay. Got a couple of Dragon Ball games. This was cheap. I think this is about £10. Dragon Ball 2 Xenoverse. And new and sealed. This was reduced. Dragon Ball Breakers Special Edition. Okay, I got this off eBay, quite cheap. New and sealed. It was about £25 mark. It's King of Fighters 15, the Omega Edition on a PS4. So this box set comes with art books, some lithographs, soundtrack, and some other DLC. So yeah, that's quite a good price for that. It's all new, complete and sealed. Okay, Okay, I've got some YS games. So I've got Monstrum Nox 9, which comes with, there's a packed edition which comes with another disc, soundtrack. And also YS Memories of Celicia, that was quite cheap, I think it was about £14. So I think this was about from a CX for about 18 and that's about 14 or something. I thought I'd just get those while they're good priced. There is another PS4 exclusive Japanese Ace Attorney game. This is one of them. I think the other one I've got in another pile to show you in the next pickup video. But this is a great Ace Attorney Chronicles. This all has English on it as well. Got this from, I think it was, I can't remember if it's PlayAsia or Amazon Japan. Wasn't a lot of money. I think it was about the £25–30 mark. So yeah, it's nice to have it all in English with the DS games. I think the DS or 3DS games, one or two. Okay, final pickup to show, guys. I know it's been massive, and thanks you for your patience. There is something which I saw this console in CX about a month before Christmas, and it was £250. I thought, cool, how much? That's not money. And I looked into it, and that's how much they go for now. And it was like a special limited edition Nintendo 64 box complete. It was like a crystal 2-color type split color one, and yeah, so I thought that's a lot of money. So it got me thinking about it. Well, there is one Nintendo 64 special one which I've been thinking about getting for a long time. I've got the standard edition and also a Japanese one. Bog standard colours, and I got, you know, a lovely clean boxed version of GoldenEye edition. But I was thinking, oh, what I really wanted was a Pokemon one. I know there's been about 4 of them at least, of these Pokemon Nintendo 64s. But the one which I really wanted was a Pikachu's one, and I managed to see this one on eBay. That was really clean. The console is spotless. It's got the stickers on still and everything, and the controller is like it's hardly ever been played with. The box it's not mint. There's a few little marks here and there, but given the age of it and so forth, it's pretty good. I'll give it 8 out of 10 of the box. Obviously it's complete with all the gubbins and stuff that come in it. I got that for the same money, £250 on eBay, which you may think, oh, that's a lot of money. Not when you look into it, because some of the console, the Pikachu consoles, they can go for that unboxed, and some box copies go for even more. So £250, I thought it's not a bad price at the end of the day. I should have picked this up years ago, because I could have got it for half that, couldn't I, really? But it's one of those things that you make these decisions here and there, and you move on and get distracted, and before you know it, a console you want to ends up being quite expensive. So yeah, this is my sort of Christmas and birthday present to myself, because on the 21st of December I actually turned 50. So this is like a special present for myself, if I may say so. So yeah, that's really nice to have that. Special Pikachu Nintendo 64 UK console. And that's it, guys. That is my pickups. Some of this stuff I'd pre-ordered more than a month ago, yeah? And because of the state of how our shipping and postal system has been, it's taken forever and a year to get here. So that's why it's, I've not shown it on previous videos. So now I still got some more stuff to show you guys at some point, but I'm going to save that for next month. I still want as a priority to get the Nintendo 64 video done and shown to you guys for collection video, and in the new year, once I've sorted out the game room, I know I said I was going to do one this year, I never got around to it in the end. I will do a game room stroke special video, which will not only do a game room, but do other parts of the house that have got collectible bits in. So stuff like behind me and other places where there are some nice collectible bits, especially if you're into vintage toys, particularly vintage Star Wars. I've got some nice stuff to show you guys for people who are interested in that. And so I'm going to do a Monty, not game room video, maybe it's more of a game house video type thing with lots of retro goodies to show people who might be interested in that sort of thing, you know. So anyway, that'll be something that will be happening next year sometime. That's the plan. Anyway guys, I hope you're all doing okay. Take care, and until next time, bye.